Are the dwarves of the Mwangi Expanse like those of Avistan, or do they wildly differ? Let's find out! Hi everyone! Welcome back to Tabletop Worms. Today we're doing part 2 of our series on dwarves in Pathfinder. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you won't miss any of our amazing Pathfinder content. There are 2 major clans of dwarves that span the region of the Mwangi Expanse, the mbe'ke and the Taurelu. Both are built like the dwarves of Avistan, short, muscular, strong, and wider than most humans. The mbe'ke and Taurelu have dark skin, dark curly hair, and dark eyes, sometimes with or without beards. The mbe'ke in particular shave their beards because insects find their luscious locks to be a place to nest and raise their tiny, noxious families. The Taurelu, on the other hand, tend to keep their beards, dyeing them and their hair bright colors that would make troll dolls jealous. Both share the dwarven tradition of a clan dagger for each member of their clan. They also have special relationships with dragons going back millennia. You heard that right, dragons. If you ask a mbe'ke dwarf about their history with dragons, they'll tell you a story that goes a little like this. During our quest for sky, we punched a hole in many ceilings. One time we punched a hole and saw a big blue thing above us. We figured that was another ceiling, so we climbed to the top of the tallest mountain we could find and punched a hole straight through that. We ended up in a windy place full of air people. They didn't take too kindly to us earthy small folk, so a large hurricane spirit tried to move us. Ha! Like the wind can move a dwarf. Then an air Jotun tried to bribe us, but their trinkets are nothing compared to our amazing, stellar, perfect dwarven craftsmanship. Then one day, a cloud dragon came down to us and said, "What are you dumbasses doing here? Y'all belong in the material plane." We realized our mistakes and left. No fighting, no war, just a peaceful resolution. We've been friends with the cloud dragons ever since. The histories tell a more realistic picture of ancient mbe'ke fighting dragons for millennia. However, historical records show that the mbe'ke and cloud dragons have been allies since at least -2000 AR. Located high up in the Turwa uplands, the majority of the mbe'ke live in a sky citadel called Cloudspire. Cloudspire, really? The citadel is dotted with depictions of dragons and the friendship the dwarves share with them, as well as being the center of mbe'ke culture and politics. The dragons are so integrated into mbe'ke society that they often come together at solstices and equinoxes to rekindle millennia-old vows. Kind of like family that you only see once a year for the holidays. The mbe'ke have what can be described as a representative democracy, but this wasn't always the case. Although the mbe'ke have lived peacefully for nearly 5,000 years with no war, no famine, and no major events. Wait, 5,000 years without wars, famines, and major events? That's a bunch of bullshit. No civilization has gone 5,000 years without something happening. It's what the book says. Well, that's what the book says, y'all. Anyway, the mbe'ke's world would change when a pivotal but dark chapter of their history would occur. The year was 3841 AR. High King Nakobe ruled over the mbe'ke from Cloudspire. Known for his temper, paranoia, and suspicion, King Nakobe lost his mind when his only son died to disease.
I'm losing my mind.
Nakobe was certain that his son was poisoned. In a fit of rage, paranoia, and despair from the death of his heir, Nakobe began slaughtering those around him.
You are all up for elimination.
No one was safe.
Bitch, ain't nobody safe.
First, he ordered the execution of the royal doctors, then the fellowship of surgeons, then the medicine women, and barbers? Wait, what the hell do barbers have to do with the death of a royal heir?
Back during that time period, barbers were also known as surgeons.
Huh, really?
Yup, though you already mentioned surgeons, so maybe not in this case.
Huh. Learn something new every day. Thousands of dwarves were arrested by masked enforcers, dragged to the various bridges of Cloudspire, and beheaded. This bloody massacre became known as the 9 Days of Blood. Not content with watching their king aggressively sashay away other dwarves, the dwarves of Cloudspire fought back. Some sided with the hereditary aristocracy. Others wanted something that would be fairer so this insanity wouldn't happen again. This civil war became known as the War of Split Hearts. Houses were divided, friendships forever changed, a world that could not stand. After 3 years of bloody fighting with no noticeable differences, the tides changed when a young cloud dragon named, oh bloody hell, Sycurarat? Oh f*** it, I'm calling her Cucumber Carrot. The tides changed when Cucumber Carrot joined the rebels. Soon, Nakobe, nearly all the royal family, and most of the aristocracy were dead. To this day, the name Nakobe remains a byword for evil, mayhem, and the cruelest of tyranny. To keep order after chaos, the mbe'ke set up a system of Electoral Houses, the Assembly of Kings and the Assembly of Speakers. The new kings were merely dwarves with executive power over dwarven communities, no matter how big or how small they were. The kings would abide by and enforce the laws made from the Assembly of Speakers, as well as vote for the High King of Cloudspire. The High King of Cloudspire acts as the ultimate executive and war leader of all the mbe'kes. The Assembly of Speakers represents various factions known as fellowships. Fellowships can be described as unions with representatives in Congress. So instead of regions of people voting for a representative, a union sends one of their own to represent their interests. You won't get any of this weird gerrymandering bullshit in this system. This also allows all fellowships to be considered equal and have equal say in how to run their society. That would mean engineers would have the same voice as farmers, merchants, teachers, etc. Wait, does that mean the Fellowship of the Ring would have a representative? Huh. Each fellowship gets one representative in the assembly to help form new legislative policy, give aid to those in need, and engage in rituals. Voting is based on how many soldiers a fellowship can gather at any one time, but even the biggest fellowships are still considered equal to smaller ones. It's not the size of the fellowship that matters, but it's how you use it. What makes all of this even more interesting is that one doesn't need to be a dwarf in order to be part of the fellowship. You can be a human, an elf, cloud dragon, kobold. As long as you're willing to work, they're willing to let you be part of the fellowship. Speaking of cloud dragons are actually often accepted into the Assembly of Kings at a young age. Dragons are majestic beasts, but they're also prone to being fickle, easily distracted, and just as foolish as any other dwarf. Think of large, scaly cats. Due to this, the mbe'ke have set safeguards in place to ensure that they can easily outvote the dragons if need be. That said, dragons often consult and provide help and protection for the mbe'ke in their endeavors. Often mbe'ke trade ships have cloud dragons with them to protect them from pirates. Cucumber Carrot in particular is of great help. Although she's old, battle-scarred, mostly deaf, half-blind, and doesn't really care for the day-to-day affairs of Dwarven society, she has seen more crises and disasters than any other being in the uplands, and often provides a calming voice when things turn most dire. Fun fact, Cucumber Carrot sees this post as a comfortable retirement, allowing her to pursue things that she enjoys, such as playing years-long games with other dragons, terrorizing her grandchildren, and collecting wind chimes. The mbe'ke are spread all over the Mwangi Expanse and beyond, with trade posts dotted pretty much everywhere. Because of their high valuable goods, they have made enemies with a particular kind of people, pirates. That is especially true for the mbe'ke, who have been involved in 3 wars against pirates since 4607 AR. These wars have been dubbed the Corsair Wars. The first Corsair War started in 4607 AR when the Hurricane King Kurdak Bonefist began attacking mbe'ke ships. This war ended in 4611 AR. Another fun fact, Kurdak Bonefist didn't become Hurricane King until 4674 AR and lost the title in 4712 AR, yet the Mwangi Expanse book clearly states that he started the first Corsair War. It has been said that it looked like he didn't age in 38 years, but him starting the first Corsair War would have made him at least over 100 years old when he lost his title. Like, either the book has a typo or he had some really powerful magic to keep himself young. The second Corsair War started in 4695 AR and ended in 4699 AR. There is very little information on this war, sadly. The third Corsair War began in 4718 AR and is currently ongoing. This war started when the Chilexian colony of Sargava declared independence and became the Free Nation of Vidrian. Sargava was paying the pirate group called the Free Captains for protection, but now that they no longer were paying them, the Free Captains began to look elsewhere for money. To the Free Captains, the mbe'ke are easy targets. Mbe'ke ships are very slow, but they're also armored. That means that if they attack in packs, they can take down an mbe'ke ship and take all of their loot with them. The mbe'ke are getting tired of the pirates, with some looking for a way to take them out once and for all, including Keem Thabsing Bloodeye and Mage King Kawu. Despite all of this, the mbe'ke welcome strangers and gladly let those willing to work live among them. This includes the Bekyar and Bonuwat humans, Kali J elves, Songo halflings, Mantanji orcs, gnolls, and even kobolds. In fact, mbe'ke kobolds are a valued part of the mbe'ke society and act a lot like their dwarven brethren, right down to the fellowships, clan daggers, and kings. Relationships aren't just the mbe'ke's strong suit, but the Tauralus as well. In fact, the Tauralu are known to be exceptional diplomats, except when it comes to other dwarves. Why? Well, the Tauralu people don't follow the ways of any other dwarves. They're a spiritual nomadic community that lives in the Mwangi jungle. They use mundane tools, magical hunters' tools, and traps to help them survive instead of master-crafted weapons and clothing. They're also not a single large clan, but rather 16 clans known simply as the 16 clans of Tauralu. Seriously, they couldn't have thought of a better name for that? If you were to ask a Tauralu how they became associated with dragons, they would tell you something like this. We were trapped between Nex and Geb, the threat of war becoming even more imminent. We sent 16 clan leaders to decide our fate. War or peace? Who do we support? 4 days and no progress was made. On the 5th day, a cloud dragon called Tannen booped the cave where the leaders were and asked them for a favor. He was old, tired, and trying to find the place where he hatched years ago, in a lowland with fog. The 16 saw this as a sign and swore oaths on their births and Tannen's death that they would honor this request. Thanks to this, we Tauralu do not fight each other, as we worked together for 4 years, dragging his weak, tired body to find his resting place, Tannen's Shroud. That is now our holy land, and it serves as a ground for all 16 clans. Written histories back up this story, and this dedication to not fighting each other without cause has caused the Tauralu to become amazing diplomats, mediators, and negotiators. The Tauralu have a deep respect for Wormkin, and if they ever encounter one in peril, they will do everything in their abilities to be able to help that creature. Some Tauralu champions may even have wyvern mounts or companions, and even fewer still have lifelong dragon companions. The Tauralu are born with curly black hair, but by adolescence they have usually dyed their hair bright neon colors. These colors represent how the sky looked at a pivotal moment during the dwarf's life. The colors will change as the dwarf gathers new experiences and grows and matures. The colors also have significant meanings, such as yellow blending into blue, expressing clarity for what's coming ahead, while shades of twilight reflect the calmness and introspective nature of light. This kind of makes them look like troll dolls, in a good way. I mean, I love bright colored hair. What about you? One clan, the Mwangi, hosts the Dyeing Games. Members from all 16 clans take part in a multi-day competition where they showcase their hair dyeing skills and hair masterpieces. Think Olympics, but for hairdressers. The games were originally held at Mwangi settlements, but now they're held at reigning winners settlements after accusations of cheating. Given their nomadic nature, the Taurulu dress in robes and carry their belongings in pouches and sashes. They travel light, preferring to only carry with them the things they actually need. Since they mostly travel on foot, they use sturdy, intricately designed walking sticks adorned with beads, bones, and stone. The jewelry they wear are largely made of minerals and animal-based materials. Taurulu jewelry is used to indicate social status and the role a Taurulu has in their community. Each Taurulu wears a pendant, and that pendant says a lot about their standing. The tooth of an animal signifies defenders of the peace. Stones with gems, particularly their clan's gems, indicate dignitaries. And the rare few that are spiritual leaders of a settlement have a cloud dragon scale. Spiritual leaders are a clan's official leaders, and they can only take up the mantle after spending years serving spiritual and skillful roles in the clan. When a spiritual leader retires or passes away, the leaders of various clans' professions vote on who should take their place, not too unlike the Assembly of Kings of the mbe'ke. Most spiritual leaders are primal spellcasters, though there have been some occult and arcane casters. In fact, there's one clan led by a non-spellcaster, Clan Zafary's Amakel Inre. In general, Taurulu default to the most experienced person for the task at hand, which is why spiritual leaders must be multifaceted to lead a clan. Imagine you're trying to paint a car, but the most experienced person on the job is actually a PhD in chemistry. They may be experienced in their field, but their expertise is not helpful in that situation. Trust me, I don't know how to paint a car. Taurulu parents teach their children that only they can know themselves, and they approach their children with patience and understanding. Young Taurulu also participate in traditions and earn trust by taking care of younger dwarves. Given how the Taurulu travel all around Garund, often for diplomatic reasons, they have developed unique tastes in food, textures, and smells, combining a little bit of everything they've experienced into anything they do. Many Taurulu carry snacks from other locations to share with people, and the most ambitious of the bunch become wandering chefs looking for inspiration. The linguists of Taurulu often create new words, idioms, phrases, and humor layered with multicultural and multilingual facets. This can come at a cost, as inside jokes among clans can result in outsiders being more confused than anything. Young dwarves often mess up common phrases, such as "a rolling stone gathers no moths," or "pride becomes before the fawn." The Taurulu are friendly with many within the Expanse, such as the Matangi Orcs, Gnolls, Kobolds, and the Magambia Academy. In fact, Taurulu with a desire for magical knowledge attend the Magambia Academy to help their clans. That's not to say there aren't factions that the Taurulu don't like. In fact, any cult of an evil dragon is automatically on their shit list, such as the cults of Doc and Abraxas. And those are the dwarves of the Mwangi Expanse. This is a long one. I hope y'all liked it. Let me know what you want to see next. I'll see y'all next time. May your day be fabulous and full of friends.